You're half dreaming when the sound cuts through sleep. Your phone vibrates against the nightstand. A single line glows on screen. Emergency alert. Possible nuclear incident. Seek immediate shelter. For a heartbeat, your brain rejects it. False alarms happen. Systems glitch. Someone pressed the wrong button, right? But something in the room shifts, like the air is holding its breath. Somewhere outside, hurried footsteps slam car doors. Voices too sharp for morning. Reality presses in. Panic tries to take your thoughts hostage. Not today. You breathe once slow. You say it out loud. Alert received. Unknown. Act now. The words steady your pulse just enough to move. You don't wait for social media. You don't scroll for confirmation. You just go. If you're already indoors, find the deepest part of the building. If you're outside, find anything solid, concrete, stone, anything not open to the sky. Position becomes survival. Seconds become currency. You cover your mouth with whatever you can, cloth, sleeve, because fear arrives long before any facts do. You grab what matters without thinking. Phone, water, keys, light. Nothing else matters right now. A single message to someone you love. Going inside. Safe location. We'll update. And then you move. Right now, the world is writing a new chapter. Whether you make it to page 2 depends on what you do in the next 5 steps. Part 2. Inside the quiet. You make it into shelter. A storage room. Maybe a basement. Somewhere small enough to hear your own pulse in the walls. The lock clicks shut. Silence almost. Outside, life hasn't ended yet, but it's changing shape like metal bending under heat. You glance at your phone. No signal. Not just you. Entire grids can vanish after high-altitude events or cyber strikes. If communications died this fast, the problem isn't local. It's catastrophic. You seal what gaps you can. Not perfect, just enough to feel like you're doing something besides waiting. Every instinct begs to look outside, to see if the world is actually ending. But curiosity can be dangerous now. A single truth settles over you. The first 10 minutes aren't about knowing the situation. They're about surviving long enough to learn it later. A siren wails somewhere in the distance, shorter, sharper than the last. Time feels like it's stretching into something unfamiliar. Like history is happening just beyond the door, and you're only meant to overhear it. You've survived the first 10 minutes. That alone feels unreal. Your phone clock insists it's morning, but the world feels stuck between dusk and nightmare. The sirens are gone now. Not replaced by calm, just replaced by nothing. Your brain keeps replaying the alert tone, as if decoding it might somehow change reality. The hardest question arrives quietly. Do you stay or do you move? Running feels right. So does hiding. Both could be fatal. If you had seen a flash, felt a shockwave, there would be no question. But you didn't, which means uncertainty rules for now. You listen. Somewhere far away. Engines. Maybe jets. Maybe imagination. Roads out there are already chaos. Fear spreads faster than cars can move. And fear doesn't need traffic lights. So you stay. Not because staying feels safe, but because moving feels blind. You take a slow sip of water and force your hands to still. You've heard people say history is something you read about, but it doesn't feel like reading. It feels like listening to thunder behind a locked door. An hour passes, though it feels longer, thicker, like time is wading through mud. Your little room becomes your universe. The objects inside, flashlight, bottles, blankets, aren't possessions anymore. They're survival time. You organize. You ration. Not because it's dramatic, but because control is something your mind desperately needs. You block windows with furniture. Books become barrier. Blankets become makeshift insulation. You never thought ordinary object could feel like armor, but now everything is weight. If power's still on, you charge devices. You unplug again, just in case. The quiet becomes unnatural, like the world outside forgot how to exist. But your instincts know better. Quiet isn't safety. Quiet is merely pause danger. So you build routine. Count water. Arrange space. Repeat. In a collapsing world, Structure might be the only thing holding you upright. Hours crawl. Your brain jumps at every noise, every vibration, every distant thud that could be thunder or something far worse. Your phone flickers, service for a moment, then collapses. Messages tumble in half-formed, speculation and fear masquerading as truth. Someone says Europe. Someone else says hoax. A video shows a cloud, but of what city? When? Who knows? The timeline is an avalanche of confusion. You disconnect on purpose. You write down only what's real in the room with you. Alert. Silence. No signal. Shelter stable. Your radio finally picks up a voice, strained but calm. Remain indoors. Await further instructions. Not much information, but proof that somewhere, someone still has a microphone and electricity and a plan. That's enough to keep going. You turn off the radio and breathe, even though your chest feels carved out and hollow. Outside, wind sighs through empty streets. Maybe carrying dust. Maybe carrying nothing at all. You don't need to know right now. You just need to still be here when the world starts talking again. Light changes first. Not brighter. Not warmer. Just strange. Like daylight filtered through smoke. Your stomach aches with hunger, but rationing becomes instinct. Then you hear voices. Footsteps. Someone knocking. 3 hard knocks. A stranger? Neighbor? Someone desperate? Every part of you wants human contact. Wants confirmation you're not the last person alive inside a silent block of concrete. But fear whispers something heavier. People act strangely when scared. Choices sharpen. Morality bends. You stay still. Not cruel, just cautious. After a tense eternity, the footsteps fade. Relief is tangled with guilt, but this world is no longer built on easy choices. A fire burns somewhere outside. You smell it before you see the glow leaking into the gray sky. No sirens, no fire trucks, just flame and wind. You write again. Time, status, condition, as if documenting the moment keeps you human. When darkness comes, it's total. No street lamps, no hum of electricity. Just you and the idea that dawn might not return. You don't sleep. You endure. You wake in dim, metallic air, every muscle stiff from tension. Your first thought is simple. You're still here. Outside, a world that once held birdsong now holds silence. But the radio, unbelievably, still speaks. Fallout decreasing. Remain indoors. More guidance soon. It's not victory, but it's direction. You check your water. Still enough if you move carefully through time. You write one more note. Day 1. Alive. For the first time, you let yourself imagine the door opening. Someday. The sky you'll see. The people you'll search for. The world that will look familiar and destroyed all at once. The hardest truth is understanding that survival changed you in the space of one day. Everything normal dissolved. But you reacted. You thought. You moved. You adapted. If history ever repeats itself like this, no one gets guaranteed safety. But there is a path through chaos if you hold onto 5 quiet principles. Awareness, shelter, discipline, clarity, restraint. You can't control nations, but you can control the space you occupy, the breath you take, the moment you choose to move. The siren was only the beginning. The real story is what you do after the noise stops.